You're watching college soccer on ESPN. Final day of the Big Ten regular season. Indiana has already clinched the conference title 7-0, trying to complete the perfect slate against number 12 Michigan State today. Indiana has the favorite in my mind for the Herman Trophy. That's no surprise. But what is a surprise, he's a left back with 9 goals. Devin, how does he do it?
If you have not seen this kid play, he is absolutely fantastic. Coming through the Chicago Fire Academy, Andrew Gutman does such a good job getting up and down the pitch. Not necessarily the speediest of players, but his soccer IQ is off the charts. Does a fantastic job reading the game, consistently moving in and out of channels. This is an excellent representation, not even in your viewing point. Back post, right to the near post. Fantastic goal. You'll see it all day long.
Andrew Gutman and Indiana trying to go unbeaten and untied in Big Ten play. Nobody's done it since 2005. It's the Hoosiers and the Spartans from Bloomington. Kickoff is next. The final day of the Big Ten regular season underway in Bloomington, Indiana. Gorgeous fall day, and we'll keep an eye on the wind throughout this one. It's in Michigan State's favor to start the ball game. Indiana on senior day, 8 seniors, including right here, Andrew Gutman in the starting lineup. They usually start 6 or 7, so it's no surprise. The only obvious omission was Griffin Dorsey, the winger who's also been called up to the U.S. U20 national team, who we do expect to see off the bench. Michael Watungu, Michigan State center back, playing that one out. To Wake Forest, who is #1 in the country with good reason right now. And a midweek game at Kentucky. That's kind of an aberration to the rest of their schedule. A 3-0 loss. It was 1-0 until a couple of late goals sealed it for the Wildcats. Michigan also simulcast on ESPN2 and Espanol, as always available on the ESPN app. That's Monday Night Football, Pats and Bills. Here's Jimmy Hague, Big Ten goalkeeper of the year. Probably because he's a senior, or he was a redshirt junior last year over Trey Muse. So we probably have the 2 top keepers in the conference here today. Out kicking his coverage a bit there. Justin Rennicks coming back to the ball for Indiana. Frankie Moore's switch. Too far for Reese Buckmaster to bring it in coherently. Got it forward well, though. Here goes Poncho. Trevor Schwartz tried to slot it through. And Michigan State will go the other way. We're joined now by Indiana head coach Todd Yeagley. Todd, your thoughts on the first half so far and how the wind has affected this one?
Well, it's tough conditions. I think both teams are obviously struggling to get some rhythm right now, and you got to change the way you play a little bit. We're going to make some personnel changes based on, again, we got to hold the ball up a little bit better with this wind coming at us. So, again, AJ's going to come in the game. He's pretty good with his back to goal, and hopefully we can generate some attacks. But, again, it's going to be tough today with this wind.
Coach, conversation with your boys before the match. When you know that you're going to be going against the wind in the opening 45 minutes, is it sort of a weather the storm type thing, survive in advance, if you will? Obviously, you like to dictate the tempo, but just kind of get yourself to the second half with a good opportunity?
Well, I do think the sun's a factor to the second half, so I like where we're at with the conditions. You just got to respect the shot from distance, certainly in our own half, and then I love our press out right now, just because if we can get them playing long, the ball's going to travel, most likely overhit, so we're getting goal kicks. Even though the goal kicks are tough to get out, it's tough to pass the ball over distance today. So our press is going to have to be really spot on again to make them uncomfortable.
Todd, thanks for your time. Congrats again on the regular season title. Good luck.
Thank you.
Second ball anticipated by Gutman to win it for IU. Frankie Moore going forward. Gutman is there, got a head to it. Palazzolo knocked away by Jimmy Hague in goal. He had 8 saves here, stood on his head at times last November. Cole stop there to keep us scoreless.
Fantastic ball played in by Frankie Moore. Excellent disposition to understand his surroundings and bring it down. Good ball in. The Spartans have done a good job for the most part keeping Gutman quiet, but all he needs is a tiny window. It's a flick to the back post. Almost a finish for Indiana.
Hours away. Actually, a little bit less. But he's actually from the Seattle Sounders Academy. Finished his high school time and his high school soccer, so to speak, in Seattle. He was actually on the bench for several USL games, playing in their academy, and he was in contention for that U.S. under-20 roster that we've mentioned a couple times. Did not make the squad that will start qualifying this week for next summer's under-20 World Cup. But Indiana has two players who will, Justin Rennicks, who was subbed out earlier, and Griffin Dorsey, who just came in a couple of minutes ago, number 14 in white, who will play over on the far right side. Great overhead. Gutjahr couldn't get a clean touch. It was blocked, and Nielsen able to clear it. Good opportunity there for Indiana. Their second in the last 5 minutes.
Good look at the build-up by the Hoosiers again, all starting from guess who? Number 15, Andrew Gutman. Another long ball played in to Palazzolo, who just flicks it on, and then, it falls for Gutjahr. Once again, can't get enough behind it. Damon Rensing, the head wouldn't allow him to make the sub. Felt like he got short-sighted a bit.
Sweet commits a foul right off the bat, booting Gutman in the chest while aiming for the ball. Redshirt junior who started his college career at VCU but is in his third year at Michigan State. Here's Palazzolo looking for Poncho. Patrick Nielsen interceded.
You step in for Indiana. You better believe Rennicks and Dorsey are excited about the opportunity, but leaving during tournament time, not the most fun thing to do.
They at least have high hopes they'll be back for a College Cup run. And that tournament, again, it's in an expanded under-20 tournament this year to qualify for next year's under-20 World Cup. CONCACAF wanting to get games, I think for some of the smaller countries, it's a 3-week tournament, November 1st to 21st. Tab Ramos leading the squad for the U.S. It's a big time commitment for everybody involved.
Chatting with some of the Indiana administration behind closed doors, they said, you know what, we were actually holding our breath in hopes that Trey Muse wouldn't get selected.
Right.
They're saying that he is just an injury away from being called up into that situation. You lose the likes of Justin Rennicks and Griffin Dorsey, and then your all-star goalkeeper, not a good look.
Yeah, Brady Scott from Cologne and CJ Dos Santos from Benfica are the two goalkeepers for the U.S., but Muse, we understand, is third in line, and they can make changes before the elimination round of that event to the roster. Could also see guys get sent back to their teams at that point. Spencer Glass came in for Trevor Schwartz, throws into Poncho. It's cleared away by Watungu. Even with the wind, Indiana has carried most of the play in the half. No surprise. DeJuan Jones, top of the penalty area. Chance to hit it. Shot took a deflection off of Mel, out for a Michigan State corner. Every time Michigan State's in the attacking third, you're shaking your head. What's up?
Bad decision making. Again, you could pull the trigger. Instead, you take a second touch, and then you're hitting it on your third. It allows the Indiana defender to close you down. That's pretty much been the plot the entire first half. Again, it's going to be much harder to come by these opportunities come the closing 45. In Indiana, their diversification going forward in the final third, harder to defend as well.
Second corner for Michigan State. It's Giuseppe Baroni to deliver. Disappointing for him at the near post.
Not the tallest, but
you're saying why have him deliver?
Yeah, I like the idea of having Pinlot swing that ball in and let one of the big boys go up underneath it, knock it back across the six, and let Baroni run in and try and get ahead on it.
That cross at the near post, just over from A.J. Palazzolo, who falls into that camp that we've seen. Andrew Wenger, Eric Zavaleta. I'm just naming a couple. There are a lot. Ryan Finley, who played center back and played forward, and he's at forward this year for IU.
You go from the 2 spot to basically the high 9. Very impressive. Does a good job, and it's all about height.
It means you're big.
Yeah. Well, I've been in that situation late in games.
Let's say, did they throw you forward?
Absolutely, 100%. I started off as a midfielder young on, and when I moved my way up through the ranks, you slowly make your way to the back line.
Baroni playing it through, looking for Sweet, who wasn't quite equal to the pass. It is out for another corner.
Tell you who does that on a regular basis a lot is Columbia. Kevin Anderson, their head coach, likes to pull their holding midfielder and throw him up top. They'll do it.
We can talk Ivy League. We're going to do it after the corner, though. Fourth one for Michigan State. Baroni's delivery. This time it's a good one. Sierakowski couldn't connect, though. Michigan State looked ready to take the throw in. DeJuan Jones backward for Will Perkins. No Connor Corrigan. He's the other one Michigan State is missing. Usually the left back or right back, but typically would be on the left. Will Perkins gets the start there today. Corrigan they do hope to have back, dealing with a hamstring injury. Pimlott out of the reach of Mutatu. It'll be a goal kick for Trey. Basketball, a love story. We're in the right state for that. Continues Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Not that cold this afternoon. Temperature in the high 50s, but when you throw in a 20-plus mile-an-hour wind, it can feel pretty chilly. Here's Pacho stepping forward, got the cross in, runs to the back post. Nobody really could turn that toward goal, not for lack of trying. Cleared away to midfield. It can feel pretty chilly. Here's Pacho stepping forward, got the cross in, runs to the back post. Nobody really could turn that toward goal, not for lack of trying. Cleared away to midfield. This is Gutman. Driven cross. It's Dorsey at the back post, down on his chest. Looking for Palazzolo. He did get ahead to it, but couldn't turn it on target.
Good stuff by Gutman on the near touchline, and then quick ball in. Palazzolo trying to get ahead on it. This has kind of been what Indiana has been dealing with the entire first half.
Unable to do much with it. Here is Palazzolo. Numbers up for IU. Spencer Glass was onside, but the pass, A, was mishit, and B, was into a significant gust of wind.
Michigan State very fortunate in this situation. Freitag has made his way very high up the pitch in an overlapping run.
And nobody filled.
No one covered whatsoever. As Indiana started transition the other direction, the entire stadium saw Glass streaking down the left, just couldn't find.
Being held scoreless so far. Indiana nothing, Michigan State nothing at the half. No score yet. Again, Indiana the better of play, and now they have a heavy wind at their back in this second half. Whistle blows while Giuseppe Baroni was still juggling.
Against the wind, got to be harder to put it on the ground, but maybe look at a taste of their own medicine from the first half from Indiana.
Farai Mutatu stays in for Michigan State. DeJuan Jones is actually out at the moment. And Michael Miller back into the game. He started in the middle. He's wide right with Cody Sweet making way. 2005. Indiana actually went 6-0 in 2002 when there were only 7 teams in the league. Gutman stinging the palms of Jimmy Haig from distance, and that gives you a taste of what this second half might look like.
Indiana trying to put themselves in excellent conversation, to your point. That was a Barry Gorman squad that was very good, but immediately on the front foot for Gutman from distance. Again, all the tools of this trade can be employed by this young man, and to see what he can do, absolutely fantastic in person.
Third Indiana corner. It's difficult at the near post headed in, but that one play I'm sure has haunted his I'm sure has haunted his That one play I'm sure has haunted his offseason, and he's dealing with it again right here. Frankie Moore targeted the scoreboard with that one. Came up a little short. Hey, got a hand to that through some traffic out for a corner on the far side.
Getting goosebumps. The Hoosiers switching it up a bit, going back post this time. But keep an eye. Michigan State spent all of their time yesterday working on set pieces, and most of it was in zonal marking, expecting Gutman to crash the party. That wasn't the case that time. They just went direct to the back post.
Indiana had 2 corners in the first half. This is their 5th in the first 8 minutes of the second. Headed down, loose on the goal line. Haig is able to kick it away. Michigan State clears halfway. Dorsey's reservice. Haig with a big punch. Comes down to Rennicks. Foul committed in the end by Mel, but Indiana coming close.
Love himself so much to be able to reposition. Great save on the near post. Ball made its way back around. And then the second one that gets floated in, you can see him just drifting. Excellent goalkeeping skills by Jimmy Haig.
Rennicks into the path of Poncho. There is Dorsey bringing the ball down. Thought about hitting it from distance. Now brings in Gutyard. There's the son Todd Yeagley was talking about. That's played in. Spencer Glass at the back post keeps it alive. Dorsey's lurking. Oh, what a stop by Haig with the fingertips. Spectacular from Jimmy Haig to keep us scoreless and deny Griffin Dorsey again.
Good stuff by the sophomore, just drifting to the back post. He was setting himself up, very patient. Ball is just drifted all the way over. Gets a bit of power on it, needs to go further with a bit more ambition. Jimmy Haig once again keeping his squad in this match.
It's within his reach, yes, but the reflexes and everything that Haig had to deal with put that right up there. Corner kick number 8 for Indiana as the shot count and the pressure mount. And we're still early in this second half. Glass got 2 cracks at it. Neither one got through, and now Michigan State a chance to run. Mutatu dwelled on it too long. Got to move that quicker. Is that what your head shake is indicating?
It's back to the decision making. Head coach David Rensing would say the same. Not necessarily saying that Revo would have given him the nod to go ahead and do so, but a good look, go overseas, get some culture into his playing background. They just didn't agree.
Griffin Dorsey, let's fly with the left foot and didn't miss the top corner by much. Dangerous in this one.
This is one of the looks that Dorsey gives you and how dynamic the Hoosiers are. A lot of times you'll hear front 3, front 4. It's really a front 6 for Indiana. Good interchanging play. Dorsey just tucks in, bringing it from the right to his left, trying to pick out the far post. Haig would have been beaten.
And you go to the college game. Jeff Cook came from the Philadelphia Union Academy. So will we start to see kids from that program, which is a residential program, start feeding to Penn State? And we've seen it go the other way as well. Jay Vidovich going back to Pittsburgh and that kind of thing.
You've already seen a high-profile acquisition from the YSC Academy and the likes of Jeremy Raffanello, who stepped up top into that number 9 position. Fiery. They've held them at bay. Most of the chances have been from overlapping runs.
Space opening up for Freitag now that he's on the left. DeJuan Jones still going into the penalty area, end line battling with Buckmaster. Goal kick for Indiana. Reese Buckmaster chalks up another one.
Right on cue, the defensive game that we've had, tactically coming back into our talking points. Buckmaster, he's fantastic. Again, all the credit to Andrew Gutman, but Reese Buckmaster really is an understated hero of this team. And that balance that you get from the left and right side enables everybody else to continuously put themselves in these advantageous positions. It's no difference tonight.
Sierakowski draws the free kick. One thing I'm curious about the corner for a Michigan State set piece opportunity.
Barbaroni, that's all going to go down to the physicality of this game and what that position brings along with it. Damon Rensing telling us that his squad really does lack that one player to kind of go out, get stuck in, lead by example from a physical standpoint. They could be Pimlott in certain situations, but trying to find a way to ingrain it into someone on a regular basis.
Michigan State with the corner, their 8th of the game, or beg your pardon, their 6th of the game, but their 1st of the second half. Freitag's header, Trey Muse got to it. That's a good look, and Trey Muse's first save today.
First real test from the man from Louisville, Kentucky. There's youngster Beck floating it in right outside the 6. Outside back Freitag tries to pick out the far post. Difficult for him as well. Momentum going away. Still manages a way to put some zip on it. But it's a good save from Trey Muse. Good save from Trey Muse.
Frankie Moore, you talked about bite in the midfield. Frankie Moore has enough for several players. Gutman won that from court, gets the ball in early. Dorsey's there off the post. Buckmaster skies it. Gutman almost was a difference maker, and it was almost Dorsey finishing.
Fantastic stuff. One look up by Gutman to the far post. What a delicious ball he plays in, but just, again, the execution for either squad, lacking that finishing touch. Thought he had the far post picked out. Definitely had Jimmy Hague beat. The woodwork was his worst friend.
Free kick chance here for Indiana. They're very good on restarts. Schwartz's delivery, Hague backing up, tipped it away, but didn't get it out. Played back, headed off the line. The clearance, Jack Mayer denied. Indiana can...
Referee thought maybe he might have been offside on this initial. You could hear the calls, and they were saying 18, 18. Michigan State wanted everybody to stay flat. Unfortunately, everybody started to drift. Jimmy Hague, you cannot understate the performance that he is putting on tonight. Save after save, he has stepped up to the task at hand.
Again, he had 8 here last year. It was the one that got past him that stayed with him. 5 saves in this game. Yet another corner. Michigan State able to get it away after a couple of touches. Hague said, I had to up my game. I was definitely the worst keeper here. And Michigan State usually keeps 4. Now a 3-year starter. Buckmaster and Freitag. It'll be an Indiana throw here. 86th minute. Overtime looms. These teams went through overtime twice last year. Back post, offside flag is up, it won't count. Hands on Indiana heads. After Trevor Schwartz's diving header is ruled out. Almost made it 4 and he was on.
This ball whipped in. Oh, it's close. It is close. Right on the back door. Did he slip in enough? Teasing ball in by Mel, but unfortunately, hand caught in the cookie jar for Trevor Schwartz.
Farai Mutatu, Michigan State freshman, called for the foul. You can see he does freshman things, holds the ball, takes a few too many touches that you can do in high school and you can't do here. Nielsen all over Rennicks. Frankie Moore called for the foul, has just a bit to say about it, will get away with it for the moment. He's on a yellow card warning, by the way. Frankie Moore gets another yellow. He has to miss that Big Ten quarterfinal. That's if you get 5 in the course of the regular season.
Michigan State's going for it, too. Not that they've had a lot offensively in the past couple minutes, but they've gone flat 3 up top.
And Nielsen jogging up for the set piece. Pimlott will be the one to deliver. Watungu does stay back. Nielsen the target, second ball to Indiana. Corey Thomas fouled by Giuseppe Baroni. Rennicks a little dinged up. Comes off for Spencer Glass. I really didn't think it made a lot of sense to play Rennicks or Dorsey today. You risk injury. They're about to join the U.S. national team, and you had an opportunity to teach your team to play without them. They're influential players. They're very good players. You can get a little more practice using lineups that don't include either one, which is going to be most of November for you, but I don't think it was really much of a consideration for Todd Yeagley. If they're here, they're going to play. Interstate, last game of the regular season, 1-1, and it let Michigan sneak in and take the regular season crown. And then Wisconsin won the tournament. Gutman stepping into action. This is Glass. Not close to either of his targets as we near the final minute of regulation and prepare more than likely for Michigan State and Indiana to go OT once again. Back post too high, or beg your pardon, too short for Sierakowski. 15 seconds left. Beck, looping ball, back post. Headed away by Indiana, and everybody accepts. We've got some bonus soccer coming your way. As usual between these teams, entertaining and skillful, and we get to see some more of it.
No one willing to pull off the throttle whatsoever. You have to...
Indiana, so many professionals over the years, and so many who've come back to be part of the coaching staff. In Yeagley, Brian Mazanov, who's now a head coach in his own right elsewhere. Danny O'Rourke is now on the staff. And Michigan State still kind of developing that culture, but you're seeing it with Fatai Alashe, with Jay Chapman, with Ken Krolicki, all moving on. Here's Gutman getting into the attack, one-on-one with Court. Andrew Gutman, back post, rebound, there's the game winner. IU takes it. Perfect 8-0 in Big Ten play. Justin Rennicks.
Have to pay credit where it's due. All night long, we told you this guy goes all day. Andrew Gutman has no problem continuing playing that he's done, stepping out of the limelight this time, trying to have a go to the far post. We've seen great goalkeeping from Jimmy Hague. This isn't a bad save. He actually pushes it away from the run of play, which you're supposed to do as a goalkeeper. But unfortunately, on the back end, the defending lacking a bit, and Indiana finds a way to close this out. Justin.
That's going to do it for us from Bloomington. Indiana wins it 1-0 in overtime.